Do you feel like you keep repeating the same cycle, the same issues keep coming up, or that you're carrying around some sort of emotional baggage around? This video is all about creating a comforting space where you can explore shadow work and reclaim your power. I get it. Sometimes it's hard to face the shadow sides of ourselves, but this is where we hold compassion and space for us to explore any sort of shadow sides that need to be acknowledged, comforted, and healed. Emotional baggage and unresolved feelings is something that may be holding you back. When done correctly, shadow work offers you a safe, transformative path to process and release what no longer is serving you. It gives you a chance to explore deep, hidden emotions, to gain a deeper understanding of yourself. So stick around to learn how facing your shadows can free up energy, boost confidence, and unlock your personal power. In this video, you'll gain actionable steps to create a safe space, shadow work questions that will help you get to the deeper issues, and tools to navigate this introspective journey with compassion. So join me in this episode while we create a comforting space to explore our emotions without judgment or fear. So stay tuned for practical tips and how this can lead to your ultimate reinvention. Now let's talk about the energy of shadow work. My name is Kara. I'm a certified intuitive life coach, and I teach you about energetic tools. I bridge the gap between spirituality and productivity so you can be in ultimate flow of your life. Some pros of using shadow work to work through anything that keeps reoccurring or popping up in our life. It gives us an opportunity to foster authentic self-love and emotional release. Deep introspection can lead to clarity, productivity, and renewed motivation. And it also builds a supportive mindset for day-to-day tasks. Now, here are some difficulties when we're working through shadow work. It may lead you to uncover uncomfortable emotions or fears. It requires vulnerability and consistency, which can be challenging at first. But don't worry, we're going to approach this with my concept of float activity. This is where shadow work becomes manageable and transformative. So what type of energy do you need to bring to this space? This needs to come from a place of compassionate self-inquiry. This is where we hold space for the tough questions without judgment. Consider where you're at in your menstrual cycle before doing this exercise. You may find more profound insight in your luteal phase, but you're also more emotionally vulnerable. So it might be too deep of a topic for you to dive into. Make sure you have time afterwards to process and allow a nurturing, safe space. Consider that the area around you is quiet and private. But don't worry, we're going to walk through the exact steps you need to take to work with your shadow side and the questions to go along with it. When we do the deep emotional work, it fuels our productivity, but it also brings clarity on the next steps that we need to take because we're letting go what no longer serves us. When we create inner peace, it creates outer efficiency. So spiritual insights like journaling and meditation and practical scheduling like time blocking and cyclical planning work hand in hand. It's about honoring your energy while achieving tangible goals. So let's use our shadow side to work towards our dreams and goals. So normally when I do an episode, I suggest that you pause to reflect, but I want to make sure that this is a safe, comforting space for you to explore. So after each question in the next action steps, there's going to be music and some sort of grounding video so that you can really tune in to the answers. You'll have about 2 minutes per question. So if you do need to pause it, keep that in mind. So the first action step of creating a safe space for you to explore your shadow side is setting a safe environment for you to feel safe and nurtured. Find a place in your home and make sure you communicate with the people around you that this is a time where you need to be free of distractions and anybody else's energy. Find a calm spot, consider lighting a candle, spraying some sort of air freshener, getting a cozy blanket. However you can make it a cozy atmosphere, please do this for yourself. As mentioned before, consider where you're at if you experience a menstrual cycle, because there are times that we're more emotionally vulnerable, which could be a good thing for you or a bad thing for you, and that's up for you to decide. Full moons are also connected to heightened emotions. So again, proceed with caution and be sure to create a nurturing space for you. Other ways that you can consider making it a comforting space is a lot of times our shadow work may come from child wounds or even teen wounds. So what's something that your inner child or your inner teen used to comfort themselves? One thing that I've been doing recently is that I created an inner teen, inner child music playlist. And it's really helped just let out that energy and feel safe, secure, and seen. Music was a way that I would come to a place of feeling safe. If there was a lot of energy around me that didn't feel like it was safe for me to be me, I always grabbed my Discman, put on some headphones, and jammed out. So for me, I'd be playing that playlist. I'd play it for you, but there's copyright issues, so we're not going to do that today. But I do have it on Spotify if it's something that you think you would enjoy. I was born in 1983, so keep that in mind. And my music taste it's got a wide range, so be prepared for that. I'll put the link below so that you can jam along and see if it's your thing. So before we dive in, I do want you to pause and I want you to make sure that you've created a safe space to move forward. So if you need to save this video and come back to it where you're in a safe mind and environment, that is required to move forward. This video will always be here for you. So when you feel ready, and it's also important to recognize when you should take breaks. If this introspection feels too heavy, you need to nurture yourself and make yourself feel safe in this process. That will be the time for you to dive into this. Also know, sometimes uncovering the unknown can bring on some fear. So don't worry, we're going to make it safe and comforting if that's something you feel a bit apprehensiveness about. Now, after we go through these questions, I'm also going to suggest techniques to help you process it, because it doesn't just stop at the questions. It's about integration. So just be aware at the end of these questions, there's still more to do. So let's begin with our shadow work questions. What parts of myself do I tend to hide or suppress, and why? Take some time to explore the traits or emotions you feel uncomfortable showing, and reflect how embracing them could bring balance and more authenticity in your life. What past experiences or beliefs might still be shaping your actions today? Identify how any unresolved events or inherited beliefs could be holding you back from growth and empowerment. Consider any sort of victim mentalities that are still resonant with you today, like stories that you've been telling yourself. When there's a feeling of judgment or you feel triggered, what does this reaction reveal about you? This is where you use emotional reactions to uncover wounds that need attention and healing. What are you afraid of that will happen if you let go of this behavior, relationship, or belief? This is where you shine a light on the fears that have been keeping you stuck. What would my life look like if I fully accepted myself, shadows and all? Empower yourself to visualize a future where embracing yourself leads to alignment in your personal power. All right, my love, I am so proud of you for taking the time and space to really focus on these shadow aspects that are so grateful to be seen, heard, and accepted. So now let's continue on this journey with creating this safe, comforting space after you've processed these questions. Next, it's really important for you to consider adding self-soothing techniques. Consider doing things like breath work, mindful movement, or journaling to help move the energy. EFT is one one of the most powerful self-soothing techniques. It's a way that brings awareness to what you're trying to work through and a way to release it. So make sure you give that one a try if you haven't yet. And it's also important to recognize when you should take breaks if this introspection feels too heavy. You need to nurture yourself and make yourself feel safe in this process. So this is where we talk about how we can find the float activity in this process, where we bridge spirituality and productivity. Now, we don't need to have an end goal of what your shadow work journey looks like, but it's finding that balanced emotional release by using your spiritual practice and making sure that you set time aside where you don't have to worry about what's next, because that's going to leave you feeling like you're on a time crunch. And when it comes to emotions, we want to make sure that there's no rush along involved. You can also consider tracking your progress. Think about the emotions that come up while you're journaling. And when those emotions come up in the following weeks or days, give yourself time to journal on the experience. This will allow you to go through the emotional shifts in a mindful way. This can also be talking these things out in voice notes if you like to use your voice. It's all up to you energetically and what feels resonant in a way that feels supportive for you. Lastly, it's important to focus on the integration from the awareness that you got from the session. So before you end it, consider using an affirmation or a small action step. Give yourself a way of celebration so that you continue to come and do the hard work for your overall growth. It could be something as a nourishing meal from a takeout place. Nourish yourself so you feel safe to show up. You can also consider pulling tarot cards for yourself in this process to help bring more clarity on what you need, maybe what energy you need moving forward, or even what you need to let go. I don't want to make this episode too long, so if me pulling cards for alignment in your shadow work, let me know in the comments and I'll brew one up for you. You should be so proud of yourself. I know I am. Holding space for shadow work fosters clarity, emotional healing, and enhanced productivity. And when we integrate the concept of float activity, it ensures spiritual depth that doesn't clash with the real world tasks. And if you haven't heard about my float activity retreat planner, this would be an amazing way to hold space for yourself. It's a retreat planner that walks you through the steps of creating a powerful retreat no matter the length, whether it's an hour, whether it's a few days. It walks you through how to create an intention, the tools that you need to work through it. It's a powerful practice that flows along with your energy and what you're trying to accomplish. It's a nurturing space and you are the creator of it. So be sure to check out that powerful resource. If you want to learn more about the menstrual cycle, be sure to check out my cycle planning freebies at kiradempsey.com/cycle. It just brings clarity on the energy of the different phases that may help you in this process. Sometimes when we let go of old limiting beliefs, we can feel lost in how to reinvent ourselves moving forward. I have a video all about that, so make sure you check it out. It gives you a step-by-step process to help transform the things that you've uncovered. I just want to thank you so much for creating a safe space for me to create content. This community is something that is dear to my heart and is one of my embodied intentions for 2025. So make sure you subscribe and share with a friend. This is all about like-minded, empowered women who want to lift each other up in exactly how we are. So thank you so much for that. Tell me in the comments which question opened your eyes the most so I can support you in your journey. I appreciate you being here. We'll chat soon.